100%. All right, fellas. Stu, take it away, brother. Big Ten. Is Big Blue going to be making an appearance in the Big Ten championship? Let me start off with that.
No.
Okay.
They will not be.
All right. Will they be close?
So
It could be. Yeah.
I think they'll be in the conversation, but as we both know, those last 2 weeks of the season are pretty tough for them, and I think that ultimately keeps them out of it, depending on how it shakes out. But no, I would not put my money on Big Blue in the Big Ten championship right now. I will say though, along with Texas LSU, I do think they are one of the teams where 3 losses, maybe a conversation still to be there, depending on what the losses are, who everyone else's losses are. So I will say that. But I think I'm gonna drop some jaws with this one again. I think I'm gonna start this off with maybe not a banger, but a surprising take here. So kind of leading into it, and I have a whole story about it to say after I give my picks for it as well. I'll paint a picture for you guys. But to start things off, a big reason why you're not gonna hear some of the teams that I'm putting in the Big Ten champ game is because, like, let's be honest, a lot of these teams that are really good and at the top of the Big Ten are all playing each other this year. Like, it's just one of those years where all of these top teams, none of them have an easy schedule. Oregon's got an insane schedule. Ohio State's got an insane schedule. Michigan does. I mean, USC does. Honestly, out of the top of the Big Ten, Indiana probably has like the easiest schedule out of all of them, and their schedule is still insane. Like, they're still playing USC. They're still playing Michigan. They're still playing Ohio State, and their schedule is probably the easiest out of all the top teams in the Big Ten. So, I mean, I'm not throwing Michigan in it. Ohio State's not in my Big Ten championship game, and neither is Oregon. Indiana is. And the team that's playing Indiana based off schedule alone.
I know it. I know this one's still.
I hate to say it. It kills me.
Don't do it.
It's Penn State. The Penn State Nittany Lions.
Okay.
And the main reason is, I mean, you look at the schedule for them, fellas. It's literally Michigan and Washington. Those are the only tough games they're playing.
Right.
And so it's like, I mean, I'd like to think they lose both those games, but if they win one of them, like, they have the easiest cakewalk path to the Big Ten champ game. And I think this is honestly a terrible spot to be in for Matt Campbell, because let's say this does happen. Even with 2 losses, there's a shot they make it to the Big Ten championship game with some of these other teams playing each other.
They
you make it to the Big Ten
as well, right?
They play who?
I think they play USC also, Penn State.
They might. I don't think I saw that.
But yeah.
I thought it was just Washington and Michigan, where like they're 2 really tough ones. But
anyways, continue.
Let's say this does happen in Penn State. They cakewalk their way into the Big Ten championship game. This is setting a horrible James Franklin-like precedent for Matt Campbell at Penn State, because you make the Big Ten champ game year 1. Yeah, go ahead.
Just was going to say, yes, Dak, you're right. Night game, whiteout, but it'll be that October 10th. They do play USC. Yeah, but night game, whiteout. So that's still.
Okay, so 3 tough games. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, though, you win one of those 3 still, you're still right there. Like, you're still there with a shot to make it in the game. And yeah, I think none of us like Matt Campbell. That's not a surprise. We talked about it last year. None of us are super hot on him as the new head coach at Penn State. It kind of is just like traded in a brick of gold for a brick of gold, or should I say a brick of copper for a brick of copper with James Franklin for Matt Campbell.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think if this happens, it sets a terrible precedent where next season, I don't know what their schedule is going to be, but I'm assuming it's going to be more difficult than this year. And I think this could easily be a situation where they go 10-2 this season, and the next season we're looking at like an 8-win, 7-win team. And then Indiana, obviously, is who I have winning.
Yeah. Again, I'll just say this: I have the same champion. I'm with you. I think Penn State has a very easy schedule because they don't have to play any of those top 4 team would be the USC and Michigans, and they're getting USC at home for a night game, a whiteout, probably his first one, I would assume. Maybe they play someone shitty and they're doing it, but like that'll be electric for them if they can pull off that win. I have Indiana winning it as well, actually, and I have them just kind of like the same thing with the SEC over David Ocampo's Oregon Ducks. Here, Oregon has a really, really good team, fellas. Tough schedule, like you mentioned, Stu, and then I'll get into Ohio State. Probably wondering where's Ohio State in this mix. I am just waiting to see them be more physical. Like they just, I know they got manhandled and it was over right when that game started, that playoff game against Indiana, right? You throw a pick six, it was downhill from there. That Indiana team was obviously insane. But they just lack as much talent as they have. And I know they're returning so much and everyone has them. This is the year that Dan Lanning's going to do it. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not even really questioning Dan Lanning as much as I am. Well, I guess it really does belong on his shoulders. They just don't scare me yet. They're not like a Georgia. They're kind of like Texas of the Big Ten. They're just like, yeah, ton of talent, have a great quarterback. When are they going to do it? Because they haven't done it. And he hasn't got to the championship yet. So I don't know, man. I think Indiana, people are sleeping on them at 6. I think Josh Hoover will be fine there. Signetti is, into my eyes, him and Kirby Smart are 1A, 1B right now. Like, put it as what you want. I mean, you got to give respect to the coaches that have won, sure, but Dabo ain't doing
to your Josh Hoover point too. Something I actually heard today and reminded me of how great Curt Signetti is that each season he's been at Indiana so far, his QB has won Big Ten Quarterback of the Year, or has been first team quarterback for the Big Ten. Curtis Rourke and Fernando Mendoza. And
Impressive.
Dak, you know very well what Josh Hoover can do based on his first game of the season last year.
This is true.
He's an impressive quarterback. What can I say?
He is. Yeah. And so, yeah, they got talent. They're going to be really good. They got some tough games on their schedule, no doubt. But I'm gonna believe in Kirk Signetti this year, and I think Ohio State's a hell of a team. I'm just in not take off the big blue hat. I don't know, man. I think they can beat Texas. It's gonna be a tough game down here in the heat. I think they're gonna go to the playoffs, but they got a tough schedule. They got Michigan at home, sure, if you want to chuck that up as a win. They got to play Oregon. They haven't fared the greatest against Oregon.
They haven't beat Michigan at home in a while, though.
This is true. This is true. That's true. No, it is. Anything can happen. I'm not going to say that's an automatic win, but if we're going to just do that, they play USC, they play Oregon, they play Indiana, they play Michigan, right? They play Oregon at home. They go to Indiana. Like, this schedule's insane, and Texas. So, I mean, that if that's not the hardest schedule of the year, other than Texas, I guess, if you want to say that, fine. It's vice versa. They play each other. So I think Ohio State gets to the playoff. Even if they beat Texas, they could have 2 losses in the Big Ten. That keeps you out. But Stu, I'm with you with Penn State. I mean, it's just Iowa State 2.0. That's the one thing I'm a little concerned about. How would they fare in the Big Ten? They could definitely make it. I think you watch out for a few teams that we haven't talked about. We love all very hot on Washington. I'm hot on USC. I think USC could be in this. If they go out and beat Penn State, tough schedule, sure, but they're getting Ohio State at home. What if they pull that off? I think USC is the team that Washington and Michigan, those next batch, Michigan's just, it's a little too early for me to say they're going to be in it. Could they be? Sure. I mean, I think Witt's a hell of a coach. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility. I would put them probably at 5th on my odds, which makes sense. They're the 5th highest ranked Big Ten team, right? So, but yeah, fellas, I'm going IU. It could be Ohio State, Oregon, or IU. I really believe one of those 3 teams can win the Big Ten. I'm not doing it with Oregon just yet. I just got to see it, and they're as talented as can be. But I'm going IU over Oregon.
Yeah, I'm pretty much doing the exact same thing, except I am going to pick Oregon.
Okay.
I'm going to pick him to win it. On the Indiana side, it's kind of what you just mentioned. It's what I said previously. Sig is the best coach in the Big Ten. If you want to talk about Ryan Day, he obviously has a great resume as well, but Sig took Indiana.
Best nipple ring in the Big Ten.
Ryan Day does have the best nipple ring in the Big Ten. I saw another picture of him today, and I don't. He's got to switch up his shirts because they pop. Yeah, so someone should talk to him about that. But besides the point, he's probably the second best coach in the Big Ten. Obviously has a national championship. But yeah, Indiana's schedule really isn't that bad. They play Ohio State. They play Michigan. They don't play Oregon this year, right? I think Indiana maybe plays USC this year. Those are kind of
they play USC.
Yeah, they play USC. Those are kind of the tougher games on their schedule. If they lose to Ohio State, then I could maybe see Ohio State going here. But like you said, this is the first time that Ohio State has had a tough schedule in a really long time. Even their fans are pretty open about that. Like on Twitter, they've all said we're excited for it because usually they play a good non-conference game and then nothing matters pretty much until they go play Michigan. which isn't the most exciting thing when you're a fan. And so I think they're going to go through some bumps and some bruises. That being said, though, you have Julian Sayin and you have Jeremiah Smith. And that Chris Henry kid is supposed to be a dog.
Yeah.
So I could easily see Ohio State coming out week 1, maybe going belt to ass on Texas, and then they just run the table through the Big Ten. I'm not going to pick it. I'm going with Indiana. On the Oregon side, they have to prove it to me in the playoffs because they love the regular season. And they do perform really well in the regular season. We watched them 2 years ago. I know it was at home, but they beat Ohio State 2 years ago. They've beaten Ohio State in the past. Even that regular season game against Indiana, if Dante Moore doesn't throw the pick 6 at the end, they actually maybe go ahead and win that game. I know it was at home. Indiana went to their crib. That was much closer than the playoff game that they had against them. I think Oregon thrives in the regular season. Dan Lanning is very good at getting his guys up for some of those smaller games, so they're not going to drop one. A game like USC, I think that's where they're going to go in. They're going to be fired up, and they're going to take care of business. Ohio State, if you look at their schedule too, that's another one. USC, I think they go in and take care of business. Which kind of gets to my point. I also like USC, but they're on all of these schedules. And so it's not like, you got to go win 1 or 2. They're on all of these schedules, which is unfortunate because I do think they have a lot of urgency this year. And I think they're going to get after it, and this will be one of Lincoln's better teams. But it's just going to be a grind because that's going to be a win that Oregon needs. That's going to be a win Indiana needs. That's going to be a win Ohio State needs. And those are the big dogs, not in the Big Ten.
Penn State needs.
And Penn State.
Yeah, dog to Penn State. That's not easy.
Yeah. I think Penn State goes 10-2 and they miss the playoffs. That is my take. Because they're not going to.
Yeah, I'll go 9-3. I don't think they beat USC.
Sure.
I
was thinking they beat Washington, but they lose to USC and Michigan.
But I mean, they could. To Stu's credit and to your credit, they definitely could. I mean, they don't play all these big dogs, and they get the biggest dog of them all at home for a night game. Like you're totally right. So
yeah, I think it's Indiana. I think it's Oregon. I think Oregon finally gets it done. But like I said, it's Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State. You touched on it previously, but those are kind of the 3 big players in college football right now. Those are the teams that a lot of other teams are chasing, maybe Georgia aside, Texas aside. But those are the teams that other conferences are kind of going after, and they've done it in the past, which makes it tougher. Michigan will get there, but a team like USC just has more urgency to go win right now. You have to go win right now.
Go ahead, Stu.
I do want to just touch on Ohio State real quick.
Right, we need to.
Just because I didn't really say much about them, but I mean, if you look at Ohio State last season, and like we said, for the most part, cakewalk of a season. But when you look at those teams they played that had really good defensive fronts, the 3 games being Texas,
Miami,
Indiana, and then Miami. I mean, we didn't really see a lot from Julian Sayin in all 3 of those games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the game against Texas, it was early, and Texas just couldn't score at all either, and so they end up walking out with that one. To be honest, a big part of them winning that game was on their running backs. Their running backs had good games, and that's what led to them edging that one out. But I mean, against Miami and Indiana, just looked like a completely different team than what we saw with Michigan in week 12, where they got absolutely zero pressure on Julian Sayin all game, and he was just able to do whatever he wants back there. I mean, it was a little bit of Sam Darnold seeing ghosts once he went up against Indiana and against Miami. So, I mean, this season, all over their schedule are teams that are going to have legit D-lines. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll know what we have with them early because, they play Indiana earlier. They play Texas, obviously, week 1. So it'll be interesting to see with them.
And I do think that was the one knock on Julian Sayin last year, but to give him a little bit of grace, similar to Arch, that was his first year starting was last year. The Texas one, I think they were a little bit more conservative with him. It was week 1. There's no reason to be hey, go out there, open it up. But I think in some of those bigger games, he missed Jeremiah Smith when he had him open at times. But I know for a fact him and Ryan Day are both aware of that, which kind of leads me to believe that will not be the case this year, which almost makes me regret not picking them to go to the Big Ten championship game because that offense I think is going to be insane. It's going to be unbelievable, and they always put together a good defense, but still, like I said, tougher schedule. We'll see.
Yeah. I think a big thing here is I think they're still going to the playoff. And again, Stu, you brought it up. I think this year will be the year we see a team that's 9-3 get in the playoff, and they could be that. Just with you go to Texas, you go to Indiana. and you get Oregon. So let's just get the rankings there. Although they're number one in the country right now and we don't have them, that's all right. But Texas is 5th, I believe. You start off the season there. Indiana is 6th, and then the reigning national championships. You go on the road for both those games, and you also have to play number 2 Oregon. Like, that's insane. So I'm just saying that it's gonna. I don't think they missed the playoff. I think they're 10-2. I think they're gonna lose. In my estimate here, one of those, they're going to lose minimally one. I think they're going to lose 2 of those 3 games. And obviously, if it's Texas as they lose to, it doesn't hurt them as much for this conversation. But if you lose to Indiana and you lose to Oregon, I look at that in my eyes and go, well, that's how my Indiana-Oregon situation plays out. And so, yeah, it'll be very interesting. We'll touch more on Michigan as the year goes on. I think that is such a measuring stick game for them so early. If they can at least keep it close and look more competent than they did. I know it's close.
Week 2, we'll be doing a deep dive.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that'll tell the story of what this offseason was, because I know what Oklahoma is. Are they a playoff team again this year? I can't for sure guarantee that, but we know what we're getting. They're number 10. I think they're 10th for a reason. They're a team that made the playoffs. They got a great defense. They got a really good quarterback. Their weapons, they lack a little bit, but this is a real football team. And fellas, we're halfway through this SEC, this home and away we have with both these teams. Texas beat the shit out of Michigan. I was at that game a couple of years ago after they won the national championship. Now, granted, their whole team was gone. That's right. The first year of we saw with Sharon Moore. But last year, I get it. Bryce Underwood just turned 18. If it isn't for that touchdown by Justice Haynes, that really, the defense credit, they did what they could, but there wasn't much going on. I mean, that breakaway touchdown was really kept it close. The defense did what they could, but I want to see more. If we lose this game, that's all right. But if it's at least we're seeing something more out of the offense, the defense is competing. Like I just that could be a similar score, but it could tell you a lot more if you guys feel what I'm saying.
I think it will be a similar score. Not to get on a whole week 2 preview here. I mean, I think that is going to be a similar score because I honestly think Michigan and Oklahoma are pretty similar teams, to be honest. Just in terms of their identities. But yeah, I mean that game was a 1-score game going into the 4th quarter last year. The biggest difference in that entire game was just you had a veteran QB in John Mateer make multiple key plays down the stretch, and then you had a freshman on the other side who made multiple not key plays going down the stretch.
Yeah, with no QB coach to help him out either. Right.
No QB coach. The run game was similar. The defense, both defenses played great that game. Yeah. I mean, we'll get to it obviously when that week comes, but that is going to be a huge game to determine, I think, both of those teams' seasons.
All right, fellas. So just to go through the list here, we'll ACC, just go around who you said, just for the sake of time. I went with the SMU Mustangs losing to Miami. So Miami winning the ACC. Stu?
Yeah, I went with SMU and Miami as well, and I had SMU winning the ACC.
And then I went Miami with Louisville, and I'm going Miami winning the ACC.
Cool. Big 12, BYU over Tech for me, over Texas Tech.
Yeah, I had BYU and Oklahoma State with BYU winning.
I got Oklahoma State over Texas Tech.
Okay. SEC. Dak, I know we got the same one there. Georgia, Texas. Stu, yep. I like this.
I had Ole Miss, the out-of-pocket one, and Georgia, with Georgia winning.
Well, we all have Georgia, right?
All got Georgia. Yeah.
All got Georgia winning.
I think this is a year where we see them bounce back. They're going to be good on defense. And IU winning it, me against Oregon, Stu against Penn State with that easy schedule, and Dak picking Oregon over Indiana. No Ohio State or Texas Tech in either or any of our championships. Wild. I feel like one of those is going to be wrong, but that's how the cookie crumbles, fellas. That's how the cookie crumbles.
I mean, I'm going to upload. I haven't told you fellas this, but I'm uploading each one of these conference talks we just had as their own video, and so I feel like there's going to be some stray Tech fans, some stray Ohio State fans upset in the comments.
So we did. I feel like we at least we said some nice things about Ohio State. We just said the schedule's really tough.
To be fair, we did with Tech too. We said some nice and some mean things.
Awesome. Yeah.